one day somebody does something unspeakable to someone else, to someone you hardly knew, and you do something about it, because you can.
Because it's who you are? And you've always been?
All right, guys, I just got out of court, and the case was dismissed. So the judge dismissed it, said, you're free to go. Congratulations, your case is dismissed. So, free, now I can go on, and the monkey's off my back. Whatever, the demon off my back. And I'm going to talk about it for a second, but I want to address something first. So a lot of people have seen this post by NorCal Cop Watch. And I have nothing against NorCal Cop Watch. I don't have anything against him. I don't have anything against any of them. He's voicing his opinion. I get it. He's upset. Okay. But I wanted to say this, that a lot of people think now all of a sudden, oh, you're a bootlicker, so you support the police. And no, I don't. I've always said, and I've always maintained, that I only support the truth and who's right. That's it. I'm not always right. You're not always right. And so if you're wrong, you're wrong. Just own it and learn from it. But people are asking me why I did that. That was 2023. I don't know my mindset at that time. I don't know what my frame of mind was. I'd have to go back and watch that video and kind of see, where I was at that time. It was last year. But I do know that there have been plenty of criticisms that I've given to law enforcement as well. You could ask Sheriff Shannon Dykes. I was harsh with him. I had harsh words over the deputy that slammed the teenage girl in Apple Valley, broke her back. I criticized the sheriff's department for that. I slammed him. I said, that guy needs to be fired. And of course, the sheriff is defending him and saying, well, this happened and she was reaching for his gun and yada, yada. But I still voiced my disagreement. I said, I still disagree. I think he was wrong. He's a big old deputy. She's a little teenage girl. And there have been other instances like that where I have disagreed and vocalized my disdain. But then there are also times I compliment law enforcement sometimes. Sure. Doesn't make me a bootlicker. It just means that I'm impartial. I don't just take one side. I don't think that it's a wise stance anyway to only take one side in the situation of law enforcement incidents. Let me explain that. Law enforcement is very fluid and it's very circumstantial. It's very circumstantial. Sometimes cops may make a mistake. I know cops make a mistake more often than others, but sometimes the cop watcher may make a mistake. Sometimes the First Amendment auditor may make a mistake. And that's really kind of the what I want to say, there's a word that escapes me. The facet or the focus of my channel is that I kind of, how do I say it, hypothesize or deduce, or I break down these incidents and try to discuss who was right and who was wrong. And in doing that, it's at the risk of criticism. I do face criticism at times for that. But no, I'm not against cop watchers or First Amendment auditors. A lot of them do it right. Sometimes you do it wrong. I'm gonna call you out. Call me out when I do wrong. I mean, you guys are calling me out now, that's fine. But don't think that I'm just one-sided for the cops. I'm for truth and I'm for who's right. And if I feel somebody's wrong, I'm gonna call it, you're wrong. If I feel somebody's right, I'm gonna say, you know what, you did right. And that's how that goes. So hopefully that helps you understand it a little more. As far as my case, go back to the beginning real quick. It started out when Sergeant Wilson of the Yucaipa Police Department with the San Bernardino County Sheriff's Department, he put a light in my face and said, "Don't get mad. Don't get mad." And he was basically trying to entice me, intimidate me. And I voiced my opinion, and he said, told his deputy, "Okay, now arrest him. He's interfering." And so I submitted a complaint. And the complaint of him being in the wrong by intimidating me with a flashlight or the spotlight was sustained. So basically they said, yes, he shouldn't have done that. You're wrong for that, Sergeant. So the complaint was sustained as far as that goes. But also I want to kind of take you through, I always, since, the last year and a half to 2 years, I've tried to rely on my Heavenly Father in my activism. I try to make sure that I'm doing the right thing, saying the right thing, and not being wrong. Sometimes I could give a little more grace, I get it. But I always trust in the Lord, I really do. So when I got arrested, I was in jail that night. I was praying the whole night, believe it or not. I prayed for the guys that were in the jail cell with me. I prayed for them. I prayed the whole night. And then when I came to court, I prayed before I got to court, and I got the diversion. And ever since then, I've tried to change my style a little bit, my focus, to be a little bit more graceful, a little bit more merciful. But at the same time, we have to hold law enforcement accountable. We have to. But if we're holding law enforcement accountable and not ourselves, isn't that an oxymoron or hypocritical of what we're doing? If we're going to hold them accountable, you must first hold yourself accountable. Isn't that correct? To hold someone accountable, I must first hold myself thus. So that's why I say sometimes I compliment the cops. Sometimes I give them, I compliment them a lot less than I criticize them. You can believe that. If you don't believe it, oh well, all I can do is tell you. But we have to understand that we're not always right. And we're not always wrong. So I'm trying to be a little bit more, have a little bit more grace in the way that I approach my cop watching, my auditing. But at the same time, I'm going to stand my ground like I did that Sergeant Rialto. He was wrong. He was dead wrong. And I told him he was wrong. And I'll stand today saying he was wrong. And so as long as I do it the right way, I think it is my God approves it. My God approves that I'm trying to help people become better people. Does that make sense? I don't know if Sergeant Smith of Rialto PD will be a better person. I'm sure he's getting a lot of talking to because the Facebook page and all of that's blowing up. So I'm sure he's getting a talking to. But as long as we do it the right way, I think my God smiles at that. And I think that's why today my charges were dismissed, because I did everything the right way. And so God had put that hedge of protection about me to, let me know that I'm doing the right thing. I'm on the right path. And hopefully that helps, guys. If you have any questions, criticisms, complaints, gripes, hit me up. I'm not going to block you. Got a lot of people that have given me some negative comments today. I didn't block them. One of them I said thank you. Because I love you guys. Take care.